You know, it's really nice to see you happy.
I'm so glad we could remain friends. I would have really regretted it otherwise.
I'm really happy that he feel that way, and Elizabeth too, and she appreciated what he said to her. But on the other end of that conversation, she's like, I would have regretted it if we did not remain friends. So it's a little bit like confusing me, and it's like taking me off a little bit. I don't know if this would make sense, but feel free to tell me if I'm reading it wrong or your opinion on this. But when she said that I would have regretted it if they did not stay as friends, so I'm like, okay, if Nathan argued with her and reject and deny Lucas and Elizabeth being together, would Elizabeth change her mind and not pick Lucas for the sake of Nathan? Like, Nathan and Lucas would not have a chance to be with Elizabeth, you know what I mean? Like, the love triangle would be just like canceled out, if that makes sense. So I was a little bit confused, like, she would regret it. So it's just like, she would not be with Lucas if it did not make Nathan happy.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going over there with Mr. Smith?
Well, he's close to recommending a vote of confidence, but I don't want to leave him alone with Henry. Would you excuse me tonight?
Of course.
Great.
Great.
Nathan, Lucas.
It's really funny though, Lucas really didn't pay any attention to Nathan sitting there, and when Nathan said great, like, oh, like, Lucas, like, my bad. And it's just an awkward moment right there, the three of them. And it's funny though, my dad watched the episode with me on Sunday night, and my mom did too. So the three of us. And I'm just like, really, Mom? Because she's not really interested in being a follower of this show, but she understood what happened last season, and she's like, let's see what these three up to. And then and then this scene happened when they said great, and she's like, that is so awkward.
Hello.
Good evening, Constable.
Did I see you ride into town?
Did you?
On a brown quarter horse?
It's a very common breed.
A very fast brown quarter horse.
Me too.
Nathan Grant.
Nathan, he seemed really interested in this woman. So her name is Misu, and I'm really excited to see her blossom in season 9. She is actually the first Asian character in the show, so that's really exciting. Nathan, he had that detective genes up in his sleeve. Like, he knew what she did, and she's just trying to avoid the interrogation and try to, start on a good note with this handsome constable. But we'll see how this goes, if there's anything between Nathan and this new lady interest. I can totally see it happening. We shall see.
I appreciate you helping break things up last night.
Oh, you didn't need too much help.
You sound surprised.
That's funny, Lucas. I always considered you to be a poet, not a fighter.
Consider that a compliment.
You can consider that however you want to. And this reminded me of that moment when Nathan first came to Hope Valley in season 6, how he ended up in jail overnight and they didn't know that he was the new Mountie. It just brought me back to that memory. But again, it's really nice to see Lucas and Nathan on a good term. The hot air balloon, it's really nice though. Like, the show brings some historical events and new things that start to appear, like more driving cars and now the hot air balloon. But this moment, I was like, Lucas is definitely thinking about Elizabeth, and the plan that he just came up with in his mind, like to take Elizabeth on a hot air balloon.
Constable Grant. Oh, you know each other.
Yes, I met Miss Sue last night.
Did you get some ice cream?
No, not yet.
Don't wait too long. It could run out. Try Mr. Yost's honey and vanilla.
I think I might do that.
Okay, is it just me, or is there a possibility that we might witness another love triangle between Nathan, Faith, and Mei Sue? Some mystery to be solved within this season of why May is in Hope Valley.
I telephoned Jeffrey, but I didn't get a response. May, if something's happened,
I want to make a new life. On my own. But I'll need your help.
you're asking a lot. I hardly know you. And besides, you'll have to convince the Yosts if you want to remain their friends.
I can do this job. Better than Jeffrey. You wait and see.
Faith mentioned that she tried to telephone Jeffrey and he is not answering. So is he dead? Is he a bad man? Did May try to escape and run from him and start a new life, like she said in this scene? It's something that hopefully we'll find out soon within the next few episodes.
Thank you.
Mind your step.
Right.
Great.
Lucas, why
Yes.
are they putting the rope inside?
Oh, it's okay. I'm coming with you.
Mr. Winkler, are you also coming with us?
No, miss. Me and the boys are following along down here. Don't you worry.
The Lucas and Nathan moment when they were talking about a hot air balloon, Lucas thought of Elizabeth, and here we are. Lucas is taking Elizabeth out on a date on a hot air balloon. Very romantic, very epic. It's very Lucas-y thing to do for a date with a lady. And Elizabeth freaking out. She's like, wait, it's just the two of us?
Oh, I'm worried.
We've arranged everything. I know how to operate an air balloon.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
Cast off. Here we go!
We know he travels a lot, and he is definitely a definition of an adventurer, and knowing how to operate a hot air balloon, that's like a big task and a huge responsibility. But it's really nice that Elizabeth went along with it.
It's all right. Everything's fine.
I promise.
I will never let anything happen to you.
Elizabeth might have a fear of heights, but this is something new for her, and it's really, really nice that Lucas is taking her on something that he experienced before, and maybe he was single then, and now he has a lady with him. Ask Lucas to promise her if everything is okay, and if she can, look down, because she's just like so new to this. And instead of saying I promise, Lucas said I would never let anything happen to you. And I don't know, like part of me is like, you know how people said you promise, I promise, but it's so easy to break a promise, you know what I mean? Like it's a huge commitment, but instead Lucas like I would never let anything happen to you. And to me it's like it's more comforting to hear that instead of I promise, because I feel like I promise just like has a bigger weight, you know what I mean, than I would never let anything happen to you. And you can see Elizabeth just like took his words in and just allow it to comfort her, and you can see the trust that she has for him.
Now look.
Okay, here goes. Oh my goodness.
After Elizabeth turned around and saw the view of the ground from the hot air balloon, Lucas still like had his arm wrapped around her, not only just to hold her tight, but just to give her some comfort and peace of mind.
We're flying.
Well, floating, technically, but yes. Wherever the wind takes us.
Wherever the wind takes us, he's all in. He's very committed to Elizabeth and her son, little Jack, and he's willing to go as far as he can just to make Elizabeth happy. I think that is a line to keep in mind as we go through season 9. Sometimes, like, a certain character, like, say a line or dialogue with, like, it might not be important, but it might be later on. And I think wherever the wind takes us, I think that will play a role for Elizabeth and Lucas in season 9, my guess. But at the same time, that line is kind of like a wisdom talk. We don't know the unknown ahead of us, but if we together and we commit to one another, like, we can be wherever life takes us to.
I've decided not to take on a partner in the oil business. I've decided I want to sell my stake instead.
Lucas, I would never ask you to do that.
You don't have to. I don't want work getting in our way. You and Jack. That's what's important now.
I do want to point out, though, that Lucas said that announcement to Elizabeth, like, in a positive, happy way. Like, he didn't seem disappointed or sad that he is letting go of the oil business. And Elizabeth's still here for him and still respects him as a businessman. And she's just like, are you sure? Like, that's a huge step. But you can see where Lucas is heading in his relationship with Elizabeth. He's very committed to her and little Jack. Like, he is changing some things around in his life to make more space for Elizabeth and little Jack, and to give more attention and more love to them. I think that's a very brave thing to do, especially when you're dating someone with a kid.
Are you sure?
I have never been more sure. Trust me.
I trust you. I do.
Lucas is still running Queen of Hearts and, you know, the restaurant and the hotel aspect of it. So he's still a busy guy. He's just basically cutting down responsibilities of his many jobs, his many businesses. So he still, like, have his own life, making adjustment in his personal life and basically opening his door, his life door, to Elizabeth and little Jack, and inviting them into his life and to be closer as a family. Yeah, so this is a very sweet ending of the episode for Lucas and Elizabeth, and I'm really excited to see what season 9 takes for them, and of course for little Jack. And as we all know, with the sneak peek and the interview and picture from the promos, there's still a lot of things to witness for Lucas and Elizabeth, and hopefully they get engaged this season. Okay, who was in that heart? I'm not really good with hearts. Like, I know there's, like, so many hearts in Hope Valley now. Like, so, like, who is in that heart? Like, let me know. What a boom moment to end the first episode of season 9. Like, Nathan, like, I hope he is okay. Well, I watched the preview of the next episode. He'll be fine. But still, like, I hope he's okay, and I hope he doesn't lose memory. Like, I hope he will be okay. But who was in that car? I have no guesses, but let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's just like all the emotion of the show is, like, coming back to me, and I'm just like, are we really in the month of March? Like, time went by so fast since the last episode of season 8 in May 2021. But it's so great to be back. Let me know your prediction for the next episode. Any thoughts, comments on these scenes from episode 1 of season 9? Jot them down in the below. I would love to hear from you. And yeah, it's really fun to be back. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye.